Alright, we're running Mikage.
It's not Yukage, it's Mikage.
Yes. Y'all know who it is. It's your boy. Skinny Penis.
Skinny Penis.
So Mikage is fun. On his front side, you ping for one. You ping for one, get a blood counter. Nice and handy. 1 damage. Probably not gonna kill too much stuff with it. Y'all know what the really does.
Yeah.
Let's fucking stop with that. Let's get to the good shit. So, seeing as you can just consistently for cheap do 1 damage, I'm running 3 lethal arrows. It's literally just value. Easy removal, right?
For this deck. And if you don't run it in a Mikage deck, you were dropped on your head as a child.
Yeah, evidently. So, lethal arrow at 4. I've got 3 Nameless Mists. Easy discard. Discard and a 1/1 counter. The 1/1 counter doesn't matter too much. It's the being able to see your opponent's hand and force a discard of your choosing that really takes the cake.
Yeah, and Chants are just fucking out of control. They need to chill with Chants.
They really do. 2 Dark Knight Butterfly. It's just a single discard. Only running 2 because of that reason. It's just a single discard. It doesn't do anything else.
Yeah, this card could be easily interchanged with Thought Control if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And if you're willing to run like Dark Grimm from Time Spinning Witch or anything that gives you a decent amount of reliable mystery counters, that'd be pretty good too.
Coming up next is more of the discard engine. We're going to be running a little bit of flavor in Scorn of Dark Alice. Now this once came back, I was really excited just because it's like my favorite card out of all the Dark Alice stuff. We used to run a Dark Alice deck back in the day that was the same build but older. This card, amazing. Look at your opponent's card hand, they discard a Resonator.
Yeah, not to mention that it is in beautiful full art.
It is in beautiful full art now. And then last but not least, in terms of Chants, I've got 2 Truth Amongst Darkness. 2 works as 4, and honestly, I wouldn't want to run any more than that.
Yeah, because it's a 3-drop, but it's got that remnant, boy. Look at that. Look at that.
See that?
Oh, so good.
Good
I kind of thought they were going to do a little bit more fan service for a kind of like evil version of Little Red.
Yeah, they didn't really do anything except for this.
Like a Deece Resonator, and that's about it.
Yeah. Alright, let's move on to some additions. There's not much here, so we'll blast through it pretty quick. 3 Magic Crest of Darkness. Nice and good cycling. I definitely like being able to pull my shit back out of the grave for next to nothing, especially considering my Resonators are kind of on attack and defense. So.
And this is a tool that we will use later on.
This will matter in a bit, so let's remember that.
Remember that, children?
I've got 2 Neo Barrier Shadows. Obvious reasons. It's a black control deck. If I'm not running it, then I've got something wrong with me.
Yeah. It kind of sucks that you're not running the Maiden of Slaughter in here, like the Dark Alice, because using that against, like, those 2 together against Sherry's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good card. I haven't found the space for it yet. And I'm running 2 Alice's World of Madness.
Quite possibly one of my favorite additions. I love it. I love the colors. I love what it does. It's just, I can never make it work because I put too many Resonators in my deck. That's my problem.
Yeah, there's a lot of Resonators in this deck, but I don't care about them. That's the nice thing. The win condition's obvious, it's not Resonators.
No, it's Mikage.
Moving on to, speaking of Resonators, I've got 3 of the Fire Horses. This is obvious. Sprinting Flame Horse is Leviton.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta know.
Resolave.
Resolave. Next up, I've got 4 of the best card in the deck, let's be honest. It's
just
oof. It's Grinning Taro.
Yep.
Great card. It's basically just a 2-cost Resonator Lethal Arrow, and that's not quick cast evidently, with a 5/7 body, which isn't bad, especially for when he came out.
Yes.
He's probably the best card in Mikage, just in general.
I just realized you're doing a video. My bad.
No, don't worry about it. And actually, you can pop that guy right next to here, because he will be also important with another combo later.
That's true.
Actually, same combo.
There's a lot of combos running here. Next up, I've got 3 Shades. Shade is just value.
Oh, and it's the promo.
Yeah.
So nice. Okay, is that a noticeable character, like the one that he's sitting next to, or is that just a random?
Not really.
I think it's just a random.
Because out of all the guys who play this game, you've got the longest reaching knowledge of lore.
That just looks like a normalized regular character. Shade is from like the old, the really old stuff. So that I don't have a lot of.
Was it before Grimm?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so three shades, phenomenal. If it gets targeted by stuff, you just pop it, do 6, gain 6.
Exactly, yeah. And then he can recur himself.
Why is it 3? Why did they make it 3? Like, if they made it 2, that'd be phenomenal.
Well, yeah, but it'd be too good at 2.
Yeah, but like, okay, what if they did like 2 and then back to hand instead of back to field?
He is back to hand.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you're probably not running him for his
no
darkness resonance.
Not his recursion. He's just a creature. He's just a body. Next up, I've got me 2 Baleful Avatars. Baleful Avatar is great because when he comes in, forces a discard. Again, kind of fits the theme of the deck, which is removal and discard. Black lockdown control, kind of in quotes there.
So Knowhere, I think what you're trying to say is that if your opponent doesn't have cards, they can't really respond to what you're doing?
Yeah, exactly. I don't care about counter spells because I just won't let my opponent have cards.
Counter this. Oh wait, you don't have anything to counter with.
Exactly.
Beachin.
So honestly, one of my favorite cards is out of Vingolf, and it's like super underrated.
Yeah, actually, like on that note, before you showed me this, I had never seen that card.
That's impressive. That I didn't know.
Straight up. Mind you, Dayman and I never got a full Vingolf, and he kind of just like bought bits and pieces online. Okay, what's up next? Right.
Next up is Grimm.
Oh, here we go, here we go.
Grimm is good.
Combo time, ladies and gents.
So Grimm, when he comes in, you can pop an addition to search for a Fairy Tale. Now, it doesn't specify whether or not it's your opponent's edition. If that's been changed, then I apologize. What's fun is bring this out. I can bring a Grimm out of my grave into my hand, then play it.
Yep.
Destroy this, seeing as it does nothing on the board, to search out a Grinning Taro. And Grinning Taro being my main source of removal is pretty good.
Yep, just blood counter, get
search him all the time.
Was that a 5/7 onto the field and just boom?
Yeah. It's nothing but value. You do nothing but profit off of that combo. So, good card. And also still a great card.
Yes.
Coming up next is Glorious, the Silver Knight. Glorious, I find, gets used in weird ways, and my personal way of using him, I think, is the best. When he comes in, he destroys something that's dealt damage, and of course he's quick cast, right? So what I like to do is attack into my opponent's ruler with anything, and then upon damage, drop in a Glorious, destroy the ruler. Just nice and easy.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, and you can almost like, if you can give something precision, or you've got something with haste or anything like that, just like a little dinky, you don't care.
Yeah.
You get them to essentially just like, oh, quick cast them in. And the cool thing is, actually, no, do you have the colors? Yeah, you're running red in this deck as well.
Yeah.
You've got the colors to buff him if for some reason that would win you the game. It's just nice that you have that ability too for his activate ability.
Yeah, it is nice to have the first strike in there if absolute need be. Though I don't think I've ever used it thus far.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last card is Sariel, another important card. Fallen Angel, he's a 4-cost 6/8. Don't worry about the power numbers because the Resonator power numbers don't matter in this deck. It's all about value abilities. What he does is I can pay a black and tap him to kill something on my board to bring something from my graveyard into the field. Now what's fun is this guy. If I've got him, and let's say any other creature, let's say a Taro for this, and he's in the grave, I can tap the Sariel, sack off the Taro, swap Taro out for Baleful. Baleful comes back in and forces a discard. So he's just, this card with this card is just constant discard pressure.
Nice.
This is what I love about it. I can even sack him off and cycle them out.
Yeah, like Dayman was saying just off camera, this game, or this deck is gonna make it to at least mid.
Yeah,
at least
like
mid.
It was dealing with Amel, and like both of them just had the problem of like both of them are good at surviving, so it was like a struggle. But you don't struggle to get to late game, even against something with like mad power because they flip and get beefy and like.
Yeah, and then even once I get into late game, I don't struggle to stay in it. I just, well, the problem that I was having with Amel was, she's a flyer too.
And she has life gain.
And she has life gain. Well, the life gain wasn't a big problem. I could have one-shot my opponent. One swing with Mikage would have killed.
Yeah.
But flying was the problem. And I didn't have anything that I could just suicide into Amel to kill on the same turn.
Yeah.
So I wound up just constantly flipping through Mikages.
Mind you, you haven't built a side deck for this deck.
No.
But there are cards, I can't remember if it's a Resonator or if it's J/Resonator, but there's that one drop that's like, opponent something loses all abilities for the turn.
It's a white card. It's something loses all abilities until in a turn, draw a card, like a J/Res.
Totally. Is it J/Res? If it's J/Res, it's a 1-drop white, and then when you're going to swing and they've got a flyer or anything, just be like, fuck you. 1 drop, you lose flying, I win. Scoop for you.
Not bad.
Right? So that's something you consider putting into the sideboard. I remember back at our locals, a problem was that not a lot of people pulled it. It is a phenomenal. I think it's one of the highest quality cards in that set, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, it's actually really good. I've got a couple. If you actually seriously wanted to use this deck competitively, I can totally throw that your way and you can put it into a sideboard.
Yeah, if I make it out to GP this year, that'd be appreciated.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We should go to Toronto. I think we should either go to Toronto in June or Denver in July.
I think Toronto's a little more reasonable.
Yeah.
I don't want to get a passport. Anyway,
Stones.
Stones, 3 Darkness Magic. Just filler stuff.
Yep. And don't throw those aside. That's a beautiful stone.
It is nice stone.
This is a gorgeous stone.
I've got 3 null magic stones. This is supposed to be just a red-black.
Yeah, those are just assume those are Scorched Bales.
I haven't
sold Scorched Bales.
I haven't dug those out of my boxes yet.
Yeah.
So, Scorched Bales. And then 3 of the important stone, the black-white. 4 of the black-white stone.
Heavenly Rift.
Yeah. The main colors of the deck are black and white quotes, so it's an important card. Yeah, stones never mattered that much. I never really find that I need a color that I don't have.
Yeah, you never run across that very, very common, very crucial problem with most decks.
Nope, because I only have a handful of cards that use an off color, and I find that when I'm going to use them, I usually have the colors to use them anyways. The biggest problem I've ever had is not being able to play Silver Knight because of the lack of white stones.
Yes, but the good news is that it is 2 of one of your off colors, but it is of the stone you have 4 of.
Yeah, it is the main off color.
Cool.
Just because of Glorious. But yeah, there we go.
This was brief,
Muchachos.
sweet, short, but nice. Yeah, so Mikage build. This is fairly similar to the build you had back when we first met. You just absolutely annihilated my. I think the first time we ever faced each other, I was playing a Cthulhu Feats thing.
Yeah.
Green black.
Yeah.
And you're just like, hey, the nice board presence you have there. Just kidding. And I had no built-in barrier or anything. Oh, so bad.
Yeah, this deck back in the day when I had a lot more discards and a lot more options for discard rather, and a lot more options for just general control.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
there was
monstrous.
Soul Hunt. Oh, Soul Hunt.
Soul Hunt.
We will miss thee.
Soul Hunt is actually was reprinted in Vingolf, I'm pretty sure.
No.
No.
There's no way. There was no way they would reprint that card. It was too good. Actually, Damon and I were looking for that for a long time. We're like, no, it didn't. And then we both kind of crashed for a little bit because it was so good.
Unlucky. That is probably one of the best cards I've ever printed. Right, it was Unseen Pressure that got.
Unseen Pressure was still there. What is Stone to Death was another one?
Well, I didn't play this deck when Stone to Death was out. Stone to Death is Grimm.
Oh right, sorry. That's yeah. That would have been rotated. Never mind. Yeah, okay, so this was Knowhere's newest Mikage builds. I think he's going to test it out a little bit. From the matches that you've had with this thing so far, any problems? Anything that needs to tech a little bit, or?
I need more flight removal. Something that can remove flying and or just remove flyers. And I need a way to get around my opponent's flying ruler. So Amel was the biggest problem I had. That deck didn't stand a chance. It was Amel that kept on stopping me at every corner.
And then the constant life gain was just keeping that person in the game, eh?
Yeah, that was pretty much it, which was frustrating. Aside from that, I played one game against Nyarlathotep, who is in Nyarlathotep right now. I think Scarlet. Sorry, Dino Lady. And this deck is limp dick as fuck against that because my whole gimmick is discard and removal, and Scarlet doesn't want cards in her hand anyways, so
yeah,
that was annoying.
Well, I mean, like I was saying to Damon earlier, you're always gonna run up against that one deck that's like literally the antithesis of your playstyle.
Yeah, Scarlet turns this thing into a wet noodle. I don't even think there's much I can do in the way of sideboarding for Scarlet, just because what makes this deck good is forcing my opponent to not have a hand to play with.
Yeah. And
Scarlet doesn't care about that anyways, so.
No. Luckily though, if we're just talking GP statistics solely, the likelihood of you running into a Scarlet first or second round would be zero.
Yeah.
And then most Scarlets would lose against their first or second match.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're going to run up against Sherry or what's his face, Kirik, and they just can't deal with it.
Yeah, that's a matchup I haven't tested is Kirik.
Kirik, yeah. Well, actually, Dayman's got like I think a competitive level Kirik deck. You should totally record something with that.
Yeah, I should.
Just to see if it's good. Okay, cool. Well, we'll see you guys next time. Peace.